Welcome into the First Alert News Center. I'm Hannah Burbank, and here are today's top stories, starting with story number 5. A Blythewood man is facing a felony charge after shots were fired in a Kroger parking lot in Columbia. 50-year-old Latif Carnegie is charged with aggravated assault. Deputies responded to the grocery store near Killian and Farrow Roads around 2:30 p.m. Sunday, August 18th. The report claimed damage from bullet holes was done to a front window and a driver's side window of 2 separate cars. Now, several customers and victims left the area for safety when the shots were fired. And that's according to the report. You can find more details of the story on our website. Moving on to our 4th top story. 3 drug traffickers have received lengthy prison sentences after recent convictions in Lexington County General Sessions Court. 21-year-old Jacob Reagan Dator pled guilty on July 23, 2024 to trafficking fentanyl. Dator was sentenced to 20 years in the South Carolina Department of Corrections. Under South Carolina law, trafficking fentanyl is a violent crime, meaning Dator is not eligible for parole. 52-year-old Christina Lindemuth, a Gaston woman, was sentenced following a guilty plea on July 26, 2024 to trafficking methamphetamine. According to law enforcement officials, Lindemuth was sentenced to 19 years in prison. Bradford Price was also sentenced to 9 years in prison. You can find the full details of this story up on our website, wistv.com. Moving on to our 3rd top story. Phil Donahue, whose pioneering daytime talk show launched an television genre that brought success to Oprah Winfrey, Montel Williams, Ellen DeGeneres, and many others, has died at the age of 88. NBC's Today Show, citing family members, said Donahue died Sunday after a long illness. You can read more about his life and legacy on our website, wistv.com. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with the rest of our top stories after this.
When I think about the big stories in South Carolina, my mind always comes here to our South Carolina State House because of real stories that affect real people in our community. I think back on the huge teacher rally, thousands of teachers from across our state coming here to the South Carolina State House to rally with SC for Ed. In my mind, this is the heartbeat of democracy, of advocacy, of equity, of justice, and what makes our community such a special place. WIS 10, connection happens here.
Welcome back to today's top stories. We pick back up with story number 2. Sumter County Coroner Robbie Baker has identified 2 victims of an early morning shooting at a hotel on Broad Street. Officers were called at around 4:30 a.m. Sunday to respond to a shooting at the Sleep Inn on Broad Street. According to Baker, 20-year-old Saquon Logan and 19-year-old Damari Spann were pronounced dead on the scene from apparent gunshot wounds. Police say more details are unavailable now as the investigation remains in the early stages, but stick with WIS for the latest developments on this story. Now to our top story of the day. A Monday morning crash involving a school bus injured 1 person, according to officials with Richland County School District 2 and the South Carolina Highway Patrol. Troopers said the crash happened just before 7 a.m. this morning at the intersection of Farrow Road and Longtown Road. A white Toyota sedan traveling south on Farrow Road hit a Richland 2 school bus traveling west on Longtown Road, causing the bus to hit a utility pole and street sign. Now, Richland 2 said the bus did not contain any students, as the crash happened while the bus was on its way to pick up students from Killian Elementary School. The school bus driver was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, officials said. The sedan's driver was not injured. SCHP said the sedan's driver was charged with disregarding a traffic control device. That is all for today's top stories, but you can find all of these stories and more on our website, wistv.com.